Good morning, everybody. We got the whole crew out here. Hopefully Mila's not going to run into too many people. If she does, we're going to set her in the side. Mr. Riggs, who rarely makes an appearance, but we got smart and we have treats out here today. Anyway, welcome to Coffee with the Crew. Today is Saturday, June 13th, and we're here for about an hour. And this is your chance to see what we do after we feed the dogs breakfast. We come out here, we have coffee on the deck, and very casual. And it gives you a chance to meet the dogs, ask questions. Maybe you're new here and you want to know what each of their stories are. We can do that. We could talk about the rescue. We can talk about various events that we have going on. Hi, Roxy. So very casual. You might hear the dogs barking. You might have the neighbors' dogs come out. You might have a lawnmower, a train, because we live by a train yard. Just welcome to our life. Who do we have with us so far this morning? So we got a lot of updates in general. Nothing too specific. Riggs here is doing well. He's had a busy month. We know, you guys, most of you know that we finished up his treatment for aspiration pneumonia now. So he's doing good. He's up to around 34, 35 pounds. I meant to weigh him this morning and that got away from me. Now he's going to be prone to pneumonia most of his life, depending on how often he regurgitates and vomits. We're still working through that. I want to come back to that in a few minutes. Somebody asked me, y'all know he's got to eat in a Bailey chair upright. Somebody asked me about drinking water. And I want to touch on that topic because we came across some issues this week that we have to deal with. And it's good information to share. But he's all caught up on his shots and everything. Theoretically, if he does not get sick, he's good until he has an annual next year, and at which time we will get him neutered and we'll do a gastropexy to help eliminate the possibility of stomach bloat. Shepherds are prone to that, and with his eating disorders, that is always a possibility. He spent 4 hours with us. We had an educational display up at Tractor Supply in Willard a couple weeks ago. He did fantastic. We met a lot of great people. He got a lot of fans. Journey, I can move that for you in a second. He did very well. And there you go. There you go, girlfriend. Now you can go out. Oop, oop. You'll see Journey fall a lot because that's what she does. So, Karen, thank you. I just got an email. Karen Chichi, thank you. So anyway, where was I? TSC, he did very well. The following weekend, Memorial Day weekend, he sat out front with us to watch the parade. Our Memorial Day parade happens to go right by the house. Mila loves parades, and obviously we're trying to get Riggs socialized well enough that he can become our ambassador, because physically, I'm getting older. Mila's hard for me sometimes, and so we're trying to get Riggs set up so that I can walk him in on a leash. And so far, he's doing amazing. He did good at the parade. Everything was fine. He didn't care much for the fire trucks because they were loud and large, and he'd never seen them before. But he did real well. Last weekend, he got his final test. Typically, when I've been taking him to the vets or these various events, he's been in a crate, seat belted in the back seat, and he's done fantastic. Last weekend, Noelle took him. She went to the bank, the library, post office, and she stopped in to see our friends at Ravenscloak. Brittany, I mention her all the time. And no crate, just safety harness, safety belt on his harness, obviously. But he sat and he was, hi Mimi, you guys know Mila. But he sat on the seat and he was the perfect passenger. He would sit up and look around once in a while, but basically he was perfect. He even got, hi, Mila's excited today, guys, sorry. She gets happy, she talks. Hi, baby. Hi. So anyway, he's been doing great. And, you know, a couple big things coming up here. We have our 10-year anniversary of being a nonprofit next month, July 16th. 10 years we've been doing this. Hard to believe. Well, we've been doing it more than 10 years, but as a nonprofit, 10 years. Hi, Fenny. And if you guys have questions, bust in. None of these updates are super critical.
So we have good mornings from Karen Chichi in Erie, PA, and Lisa Spencer in Montana.
Good morning, Lisa. My preview display has tanked out on me, so I can't get a real good picture, but I'm hoping you can see Wyatt, who should be a little bit in front of the camera. I hope he's far enough out you can see him. Karen, good to know you're in Erie. So anyway, we have our 10th anniversary we're going to celebrate. We don't have anything big planned. That's coming up on Thursday, July 16th. That'll be 10 years. That's amazing, because a lot of businesses don't even last 10 years. And we have a very unique way we're going to celebrate it. Thursday the 16th is our anniversary. On Friday the 17th, we are taking Mila and... hang on, guys. I got to get Mila before she goes down the ramp. I moved the block for Journey to get out, and Mila took off. Don't want her going down the ramp by herself. She's not good with the brakes unless I'm trying to move her somewhere. Then she loves the brakes. Hi, buddy. So anyway, our anniversary is the 16th. On the 17th, we're going to take both Mila and Riggs to the Bucyrus Council on Aging here in Crawford County. And we've been there before with Mila and a couple other dogs. And, we work with the activity director, so we just go visit. And it's going to be fun. Riggs does great. Hi, Roxanne. And there's Riggs again. I have treats out here this time. I'm prepared. So if he doesn't show up over here enough for you guys to see him, hey, buddy, we can bribe him with treats. Hey, buddy, come here. Come here. He's getting big. But anyway, we're going to take both dogs and just let the residents, the people there, visit with the dogs. The dogs love it. The people love it. So we get to give back to the community a little bit for our anniversary, which I think is appropriate because, without community, we wouldn't be here. Which reminds me, last month, Give Butter, it was National Monthly Donor Week or something like that. And I asked a handful of you guys if you could start a $5 or $10 monthly donation because our donation processor, you okay?
Well, I was just going to say, you're starting to talk about donations. Karen Chichi said she's attempted multiple times via Venmo, but it keeps getting hung up. So today Venmo was not an option on Give Butter, so she's processing it through another method.
I got an email about you, Karen. It worked. I got an email that whatever you did as we started the broadcast worked.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay. And I'll reply. I'll get back with you after the show. But it came through. I got an email notification as we were just getting started.
And good morning from Tricia, Perfect Imperfections.
Hey, Tricia, I'll get Riggs over here in a minute so you can see him.
And Jan and Shane Glasser, thank you both.
Hi, Jan. Hello, everybody. So anyway, we did that last month where Give Butter, our donation processor, was giving us a $10 like a bonus for any monthly donors we got. A handful of you signed up for that, and I want to say thank you. I really appreciate it. And I think there were close to 10 people that did that, 8 or 10. And at the end of the day, it's enough to cover Riggs' medicine every month, and that's Journey and Wyatt. I got to let Journey up here. So I want to say thank you. A handful of you folks did that, and I really appreciate it. Come on, Jern. And Karen Chichi, you specifically, I know you've been trying for a couple weeks to help us out with the donation from Tractor Supply and all that. And thanks for putting the effort in. It's a lot of work. If it was me, I probably would have given up. So that's all the stuff we have coming up here. Oh, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
So we have, sorry guys, it's one of those mornings for me today. Welcome to John's World, okay? I don't even have my coffee here because I forgot to bring it outside. So we've got the Crawford County Council on Aging that we're going to do on the 17th. Now, typically every year, last week of July, our local community foundation does Crawford for Good. That is our largest and most important fundraiser of the year. It's typically the one big one we do every year. It only runs for 2 days. Our competition is very slim because it's only for nonprofits that are based in Crawford County. So instead of competing with the millions of nonprofits out in the world, like on Facebook, I compete with like 15 or 20 that are based here in Crawford County. And they are fantastic in terms of matching funds. 1 year, 2-3 years ago, for every dollar we raised, they gave us an additional $1.47. So if we raised $1,000 that year, we actually got $2,470. They actually matched more than 1-to-1. So that's going to be coming up here. End of July is usually when they do it. I don't have the announcement yet, but it'll be coming out soon. And our friend at Noel's going to give the name here at Panda Plushie.
Panda Pug Plushies, and I'll share the link to their page in the chat.
Pug Plushies, and it's going to go in the comments too. If you remember last year, we had a friend of ours make a stuffed animal. She makes stuffed animals. She made a custom stuffed animal for Rescued Rollers. Hi, Rigsy. It was a tripod. And we sold tickets through Brittany at Raven's Cloak. And she was able to take sales online and or local in the store, walk in. And she raised a fair amount of money from that and then donated it to our end of July fundraiser, so that we got matching funds as well as the ticket proceeds. We're working on setting that up again. The lady making the plushie has already reached out to me. She's going to start working on another tripod for me. We've already talked to Brittany at Raven's Cloak, and she's going to run it the same way we did it last year. So those of you that were here last year and participated or saw that, that will be coming up. We try and time that with the Crawford for Good because there's the matching funds. We can't touch it anywhere else. And then the huge news we got this past week or two. Some of you may have. Hi, Jern. I love Journey. Journey is so beautiful. I love Journey. She's my sweetie. The last piece of news is a week or two ago we got a message from 100 Women of Crawford County. Now, apparently I'm not super familiar with them, so no disrespect, but the short version is this is a nonprofit that supports other nonprofits. Apparently it's a group of women that get together every quarter. 3 nonprofits come in and you get 5 minutes to speak about your nonprofit. And one of those nonprofits goes home with a grant. I want to say last month, I don't remember. I think it was, I don't know if it was Salvation Army or United Way. It was Kicks for Kids, shoes for kids. They walked home with a $3,300 or $3,700 check, a donation from that group. We are honored. We got chosen to give our presentation on August 10th. So we're going to take Mila. We've got 5 minutes to tell them why they should support us, and hopefully that'll work out. It's going to be very interesting. The more I learn about this group, the more I'm very impressed by it. Their mission, I got to get Mila before she hits the camera, guys. Sorry. Come on, Mimi. We'll put you in the house in a minute, girlfriend. Sorry, guys. Welcome to Coffee with the Crew, right? So anyway, the more I learn about them, 100 Women of Crawford County, the more impressed I am. This is a really cool organization that supports other nonprofits, and everybody knows how bad the economy is. This is really important. Last year, our donations were down by a full third. Expenses are up because of the economy. Everything's more expensive, and donations were down by a third. So we got hit on both sides, and we had a lot of medical issues last year. So we're looking forward to talking to them. It's going to be exciting, and it's going to be hard for me because, I talk a lot about these dogs, and I have a hard time stopping. My presentations always run over when I go in person. So to limit myself to 5 minutes, and they're very strict about this 5 minutes, there's a timer. It's going to be a very good self-discipline learning experience for me. Hey, easy, Mila. Riggs, you got to keep your eyes open, buddy. Mila the Destroyer. We're going to put her in the house in a minute. So anyway, we're really looking forward to this. It's going to be good for me as a personal development to have to get more focused. And I am so honored to talk to these 100 businesswomen from the area. I can't tell you how honored I am that we were selected.
And so when we go to visit with the 100 women, we'll be taking Mila. Now, Karen Chichi has a question about when Mila or any of the dogs go visiting with the elderly, do the dogs wear soft shoes to avoid possibly scratching somebody?
Karen, actually, they don't. With Mila specifically, I'm going to talk about Mila because she has been, she's 5 years old now. She's been our ambassador for, say, 5 years. The answer is no, she doesn't. If we put anything on her feet, it's going to freak her out and she's going to go spastic. We've never had a problem with her. Because she's in a wheelchair, she gets feet on the floor, basically, and that's it. She couldn't intentionally scratch somebody if she wanted to. Riggs has been fantastic. We brought Riggs in for a lot of reasons, but when Tricia called us to kind of emergency foster for him for 10 days, his personality and demeanor was amazing compared to, our large group of dogs. Fenny, I'll let you in the house in a second. And that demeanor has continued. He does very good. He will lay down and just be with the person, or if he wants attention or if the person gives him attention, he will sit. He's been very good about staying down, and we're very careful about that. So the short version is, no, Karen, we don't put booties on them. We don't muzzle them. We don't take dogs out unless they have a therapy dog personality. Mila and Riggs both have that. It's not a concern for us. It's never even crossed our minds, to be honest with you, because we wouldn't take these guys if there is any risk whatsoever. It just for the liability and everything else. So no, what we do with Mila specifically, you see her now, all you see here is her chair and her blue harnesses. We have a license plate for her that says Mila, so that people know her name, and it's really cute. You can see it in some of her old videos. We put a oh, you need more water? Hang on, buddy. She wears a diaper when we're out because Mila's incontinent. Let me get the other bucket, Mila. Be right back, guys. Need some water.
So when Mila's diaper is on, because we want to emphasize the cute factor for her at these visits, John also has a pair of pink panties that he puts on over top her diaper. It's a little diaper cover.
Thanks, guys.
And it's hot pink, matches her leash. And it's just adorable to see. People comment all the time. Good morning, Diane St. James. Good morning good morning to Cheryl Kraft.
Cheryl, we got your girl out here today. We're just talking about her.
Yeah. Karen Chichi said she wasn't really worried about intentional harm at all with Mila, more about an accidental when offering up a paw.
No, understood. Mila doesn't do that. Mila, she's not just physically having issues. She's mentally a little developmentally delayed, let's say. She doesn't try and sit and shake or anything. She sits here like this and she wants petting. And she wants to visit everybody. She does really well. I understand your concern, but these guys, if it was as simple as a paw shake, we would encourage the dogs not to do that. They need to be on perfect manners before we take them places like that. Mila's an old pro. Mila has been to probably 100 or more events in her 5 years, or very close to it. She does at least 10 a year, give or take. Never had an issue with it. She's been doing it since she was a puppy. We had Laura do these before her, Ranger before her, and we're bringing Riggs up to speed because he has such a great personality. I don't know if you can see him on camera or not because my display is bad, but he's laying down over
just
this
over
way.
off the edge.
We're going to get him a treat in a minute here. Riggsy. Come here, boo. Watch it. Here. See how big he is? So, no, that's never been a concern for us. Here. Wait, Riggs. It's never been a concern for us, Karen. We are very aware and we keep very close control over these guys when they're out. And we only, like Journey, we can't take Journey. Journey is the sweetest thing in the world, but physically she's going to fall into somebody and knock them over, break a leg or a hip or something. So we're very selective and we're very careful for liability reasons, obviously. Hi, Roxy.
Yes, Cheryl, Mila's tail is so floofy.
She needs a grooming and a bath right now, so she's a little overgrown. Cheryl, for those of you that don't know Cheryl Kraft, who's online, Mila came from Cheryl. Mila has, Cheryl has Mila's mom. So Cheryl and I, we've been friends for 5 years, and she's Mila's mom. She actually came all the way from Baltimore to Ohio for Mila's first-year birthday party, which was really cool. So let's talk about Riggs for a second. I mentioned earlier about the water. Somebody asked me if they know he has to eat in a chair and sit in a chair for 30 minutes. They also asked me if he has to drink in a chair. And I can't remember who asked me. If you're online, I'm sorry. Here's the interesting thing. Megaesophagus, there's severity levels, okay? Some dogs can actually drink water from a regular water bowl or what I call a slow feed water bowl. Some are okay if they do it elevated, and some have to have water in their chair. It all depends on the dog, okay? How severe their megaesophagus is. Riggs, in general, until this week, has done very well with water. He takes small slips every now and then from the water buckets that you see that we have out for the dogs. We also have a slow feeder water bowl that we use for him. And he really self-regulates very well. It has not been a problem. Just a few sips, it doesn't cause him a problem. However, in this last week or two, now that his adolescent side is coming out, he has been sticking his head down in that bucket of water past his ears and shaking, pulling out water, shaking everything. So he's been taking in a lot of water. It's a problem. When he does that, he's done it a couple times. It's a problem for us because he gets water all over the house and he's knocked over the water bowl 2 or 3 times in a row. And it's, a gallon or 2 of water. But it's a problem for him. Every time he does that, he then starts to regurgitate, right? Because he took in too much water and it didn't make it all the way down. The problem with regurgitation, even if it's just water, is they can aspirate it. So every time he regurgitates or vomits, he has got the potential to get aspiration pneumonia again. It's a recurrent problem with Mega E dogs. So, we have to try and minimize it. So this week, if we're not directly supervising him, we are putting the water buckets up until this fascination with playing in the water goes away. We wanted to get him a little kiddie pool because he really enjoys the water. But we can't do that till he stops actually consuming the water the way he does when he plays. And frankly, if that continues, he can't have a kiddie pool because it's dangerous for his health. So he's had a couple of rough days this week playing with water till we figured out what was going on. Oh, Mila's at the camera. Hold on, guys. Mila, I'm going to set you back here again. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Hopefully she didn't move the camera here.
No, she did not.
Okay.
You're square.
Well, it's going to take like 10 seconds.
I mean, it
for to show
moved
up
like
there.
half a bit, but it's okay.
Yeah, we can work with this. Okay, so anyway, water is something we have to pay attention to. Different severity levels. Some dogs just plain need their water in the Bailey chair. And there's water thickeners, and you can make little Jello blocks, and they're called Knox blocks. There's different ways you can get them water, depending on your dog's specific needs. As long as Riggs self-regulates, he's doing great. So for the most part, water's not a problem for him. He drinks just like Mila's drinking right now. But for the moment, until this fascination with playing with the water bucket goes away, we have to stay on top of it.
Karen Chichi made the observation that she says, I don't think many people realize just all of the considerations that go into therapy animals. And she says the fact that you can do this with disabled dogs shows folks just how truly abled they are.
Well, thank you, Karen. You know, one of the things we want to do is kind of change the narrative. In years past, even when we started this, so just 10 years ago when we started our rescue, and we started with a wheelchair dog, a border collie named Ranger. All the vets at that point in time, if your dog was paralyzed or blind or deaf, well, like we had Hope, was a blind or deaf dog we brought in from Oklahoma, vets would say, put them down, they can't have a quality of life. And, you know, we want to reverse that narrative a little bit. That should not be the default. These guys can have a great quality of life. If they're happy, then quality of life should not be an issue. You know, Mila obviously has some pretty severe issues in comparison to a regular, normal, healthy dog. But look how happy she is. And you know what? It's if they were my children and there was an emergency and my child got in a car accident and suddenly couldn't walk or was incontinent or whatever the special need is, I'm just going to figure out how to deal with it. I think these dogs deserve the same consideration. So thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. And that's one of the reasons we do a lot of these events. I like taking Mila to the events because she's very visually special needs, and yet she's so sweet and so happy, right? And also, we've visited some groups with developmentally disabled adults and children. They're in wheelchairs. They can't move properly or talk properly sometimes. And they can really relate to Mila because they could see that she can't move right. You know, even when she's in her chair, she can't really steer it real well. So, you know, it's important to us to do that for people. These guys, they enjoy it. But we do that because people need to see that, yeah, these guys are worth it. They're not... We had blind to deaf Hope here. She could run through this house and jump over furniture without touching it because she mapped it. And people think a blind to deaf dog doesn't have a good quality of life. I'm here to tell you they're wrong. Go look Invincible Vinny, Blind, Deaf, and Fabulous on Facebook. He belongs to a friend of ours, Deb Bauer, who is an expert blind and deaf dog trainer. This dog is blind and deaf, rough coat collie. First blind and deaf dog to ever get his master trick dog title from the AKC. Imagine that. And the only difference with that blind and deaf dog is how you communicate with them. That's the major difference. I mean, obviously there's some little differences, but the major difference is how you communicate. And with blind and deaf dog, it's touch cues or touch signals. You do like sign language, put on their skin so they can feel it. Blind and deaf dogs are great. They're fantastic. They don't bark at fireworks, for instance, or thunderstorms, usually. So, you know, Deb's been a good friend of ours for, oh man, probably 10 years. And we use Deb in our rescue. Our neighbors, Steve and Vicky, have fostered 2 blind and deaf dogs for us. One from a breeder and one that came from Perfect Imperfections, Crash. Crash and Iris. And when there were some challenges, we paid for Deb to work with them so that they understood the concerns that their dogs were having and the best way to interact with them. And we love these guys.
A question about, back to Riggs.
Yes.
Can he wear a bucket-style, basket-style muzzle to keep him from eating and drinking inappropriate things, mouthing on stuff.
Who asked that question? Is it still Frey?
It's Karen.
Karen, that's a great question. Thank you, because Noelle and I were just discussing that this week, and it's fair game. It's a good question. Can you wear a muzzle to stop him from like playing in that bucket or eating things he shouldn't? The answer is yes. Riggs can do, with the exception of maybe swimming, unless he pays attention to the water consumption. But physically, he could do anything any other dog can do, okay? Right now, the only difference with Riggs and any other dog is how he has to eat, because he can't get the food down. So, we have had some issues this week, well, last week. Now that he's in puppy phase, he is eating everything he can find out in the yard. If we cut the grass, he might try and eat some of the dead grass. And that makes him throw up, obviously. He's been starting to chew because he's going to start teething. He's going to be 5 months old in another week. So we have discussed muzzle training him. As a general rule, about a year or so ago, we decided that most of our dogs here need to be muzzle trained. Some of them we're not going to be able to muzzle train. They've been here too long and it's just not going to work right. But the dogs that, some of the dogs we have, and Riggs will be one of them, they need to be muzzle trained for safety. Now his behavior is spectacular when we're at the vets or anything like that. So it's not a concern like we have some dogs that we muzzle at the vets for their safety, for the vet's safety. That's not Riggs. Riggs does not need a muzzle for those kinds of issues. However, if he continues with some of the eating explorations out in the yard, we were going to start training him. We're going to get him a bell muzzle. Now, because in general he can drink, we're not going to get a muzzle that totally stops him. They got to be able to breathe. You want to be able to give him a treat through the muzzle. So there's two different types of muzzles we would use on somebody like Riggs. They've got the bell cage muzzle, which is the wire muzzle, and they can pant. They can drink water. You can slip a treat through it. That's what I would use with him, not a muzzle that keeps his mouth closed. I also want him to be able to pant because that affects his breathing. And the same thing, we have not just the wire one, but we're going to get a rubber one that one of our trainers, Deb Bauer, recommended that she uses for her dogs. That also, it's much softer, but it allows them, they can take treats, they can drink water, but it's not going to allow him to, say, pull a rock up and get it into his muzzle. So our concern basically is him eating things he shouldn't in the yard when we're not actively supervising him. So it's for his safety if we have to go that route. Right now it's borderline, but we still want to get him trained on it. And with him, it's easy. He's very food motivated. So we got him used to the nebulizer for his breathing treatments with the pneumonia by putting peanut butter on the inside, and he was more than happy to do that. So that's how we're going to work it with the muzzles. We're going to start putting peanut butter inside a muzzle, and he's got to get his nose in there to lick it out. And over the course of a week or two, we'll step it up, and then that's our plan. So yes, you can. Short answer, Karen. Yes, you can muzzle these guys. I try to be very careful with muzzles because, as you can, I think you can see him right now. He's panting. I want to make sure he can pant. I want to make sure he can get a drink of water if he needs it. So it's not going to solve my water problem if that doesn't go away. What we do is we're putting the water buckets up instead of leaving them out all the time for this week until he's done with this fascination. We're picking the water buckets up, and then they go down on the ground for 20 minutes or half an hour, like while I'm sitting here and can supervise. If he starts to play in the water, then I correct him. As long as he drinks it, it's fine. So, sorry, I have bees hanging around me, so I'm not waving at you.
Gina Braun suggested Baskervilles as a brand name. She said they're very good.
Yes, Gina, thank you. I haven't heard from you in a while. That's actually what our friend Deb recommended, and I have a selection of sizes downstairs in our rescue supplies, various sizes. I've got to see what we could do with Riggs right now because he's growing so rapidly. In general, he's doing extremely well, by the way. Riggs is doing great. Personality, behavior, obedience, spectacular. We're working on house training, which is mostly good. we have bed pads around the house because we have 4 dogs that are incontinent. And so he is picked up on the bed pads basically. And sometimes in the morning when we get him up, he'll run out, he'll hit the pad and then come outside. We're trying to transition that to more outside. But in general, he knows there's some delimiters on where he should be going to the bathroom. Medically, he's doing great. He is finally, he's got this fur that's like Velcro right now. It's still the puppy fluff, but it catches everything. And when he got here, big fluff ball, but he was skin and bones. He was incredibly malnourished. We're making great progress on that. As he grows, he's putting most of the food into his growth. He's gaining roughly 3 pounds a week, give or take, if it's a good week or a bad week, right? He's had a rough week here and there if he's in the water too much and throws up, for instance.
So speaking of the water, Karen Bordenero suggested maybe a deep, slow feeder type bowl for the water.
Yes, we do have a slow feeder type bowl, Karen. I don't have it out here to show you, but it's
pretty shallow.
Yeah, it's a water bowl that has a float on top. It only lets a small amount of water sit on the top. I can throw a picture out later on this chat or something, but we do have a slow feed type water bowl for him. Right now, it's just his fascination with playing with the water that's the problem.
And then it hasn't helped that it's been 85 and 90 degrees with the 100 heat index.
Yes, we've had 102 heat index the last few days. So, I can't really limit access to water that much with him, or with any of them, obviously. It's just been a handful because this is his fascination. A couple weeks ago, it was grabbing one of the mats on the ramp and running with it so it would unroll the rug down the ramp. So this is just his recent fascination. I'm hoping it goes away soon and then we're fine. But short answer, yeah, you can muzzle an ME dog.
Somebody commented on the whole teenage years, the Velociraptor years.
Yeah, so far we're lucky. This guy, I'm biased, I get it. But Noelle and I have spoken, and, I'm 60 years old later this year. We've had dogs all our lives, both of us, together and separately before we met. We've had lots of dogs, and through the rescue. Riggs is very special. His personality and calm demeanor is amazing. If he had the training, he would qualify to be a therapy dog right now. His personality is just outstanding and behavior. So that being said, now that he's getting into the Velociraptor stage, it's still a pretty chilled out version of Velociraptor. So, as much as I might get frustrated when I walk in the kitchen and there's 2 gallons of water on the floor, and he's just looking at me with a grin, you know what? He's such a good dog. This is so minor. I have adults that behave worse than him. He really is a very special 1 in a million type dog. I have 2 dogs on the top of my list in my heart that were like the most amazing dogs. Ginny, who was a Sheltie we got from Karen down at NWAL.
Ginny was perfect. She was the perfect dog.
Amazing. She was a Sheltie that had seizures and allergies, and she was just awesome. My neighbors, when they would go for a walk, husband and wife, they'd knock on our door and say, "Can we take Ginny?" Because Ginny was just so good. And then Rex. Some of you will remember Rex, paralyzed German Shepherd, somebody dumped in a field. He was the very first rescue we fostered personally. Originally, we were giving out wheelchairs, right, as a nonprofit. A shelter grabbed this paralyzed dog that was dumped in a field, and we took him down a wheelchair, got him set up. He tried to jump in our truck to come home with us. So we pulled him from the shelter. That dog was amazing. His name was Rex, and he came from Pickaway County here in Ohio. And we didn't have him very long because he was in such bad shape, probably 3-4 months. But that dog was the most devoted, the most gentle, and the most, he would tolerate any type of care that I had to do with him, and not all of it is comfortable for them. So Ginny and Rex are like very special dogs that we've had. Riggs is right up there in that group. Riggs is, it's not just because he's puppy and he's cute. There's something very special about Riggs, and he is now in that group of 3. I am so honored and thankful that it worked out. We grabbed him to foster him for Tricia temporarily, and when sent him up to Connecticut, and when they found out that his physical problem was not correctable, we thought it would be correctable with surgery. It wasn't. We had the opportunity to bring him back here, and you know what? The timing wasn't right. Life is crazy right now with everything we have going on in the dogs. But the decision was, he was such a good dog. When you have the perfect opportunity, you don't say no. And we are so grateful to Trisha at Perfect Imperfections and everybody else that made this happen. Karen Chichi, who's on the chat here, she's the transporter that transported him to Connecticut, and she's worked with us before with Fenn and a few other dogs. We're very lucky that Riggs came here. We're very grateful, and we would do it again in a heartbeat. So, Trisha, if you're still here, thank you, and Karen, and everybody that has supported our work on that. What else do we have for questions, guys? Because I'm pretty sure that's my updates. I had notes on my screen, and my screen is not functioning properly. We're going to do something different next month for this chat so that I can have a better preview of what's going on.
Well, I don't have any extra questions, but a few comments.
Sure.
Julie Swain Uxley says how much of a sweetheart Rex was.
Oh yeah, Julie got to meet. Yeah,
she was such a big help that first night, bringing shampoo and supplies and
with
treats.
Rex.
Yeah,
no,
with
she
Rex.
got for Rex.
Yeah, Rex.
You said Riggs. Oh, okay.
Rex.
Yes, Rex was amazing, and Julie was awesome. Julie lives here in town, and when she saw that we got Rex, she called us when we got home that afternoon. And mind you, he had been in the shelter for a couple weeks, and incontinent, paralyzed. He was a mess, right? Very dirty. And because we had just brought him home, I didn't want to leave him yet. And Julie called, and she was kind enough to run and go get us some shampoo and some baby shampoo and some bandages and a few other emergency, quote, supplies that we needed. So she got to meet Rex on the first night. And Rex, I will always remember Rex. He's a very special guy.
And Diane St. Jane says she loves Shelties, and she had 6 at one point in her house.
I love Shelties and Collies. Karen got me hooked on Shelties when we adopted Ginny. I was just amazed. And yeah, Shelties, Collies, I love those dogs. Yeah.
Tara Zoom is online.
Hi, Tara.
Says good morning.
It's good to hear from you the other day. So I want to back up for a minute. This is not specific to you, Karen Chichi, but in general about the donations. Karen has been trying for a couple weeks to make a donation to us through Venmo, and there's been issues. Background story, you know, PayPal owns Venmo, right, guys? PayPal has been having problems the last couple of weeks. We've had problems with 2 different PayPal donations coming through. And now Karen says there were some issues with not seeing Venmo on our donation page. Theoretically, it's supposed to be on our donation box when you choose your payment type. There's like 8 or 10 payments. Hey, Riggs, you want a treat? My guess is, Karen, if you did not see that today, they're probably having a severe enough problem that GiveButter, our processor, sees them as down, so did not give you an option to use them today. That would be my guess, because I'm seeing it with PayPal last week as well. I have 2 monthly donors through PayPal. Both of their transactions didn't come through. So I think it's PayPal's having some issues, and they own Venmo. So that may be the cause of that problem. Journey sounds like she wants to come out. You want one more, buddy?
You think you want to try bringing her back out?
Well, sit. Nope, you got to sit. Nope. We're still working. He knows sit, but he's just not disciplined about it. Hey, sit.
Well, I know that there were some
Sit.
payment posting problems from the processors, but I just want to say how much we appreciate everybody who donates
Rich, you
and the
gotta watch
monthly
her, though.
donors who are practically covering all of the monthly medications that our dogs require.
And here's the thing, guys. You may not realize it because I don't like talking about money, which is I probably should talk about it more as the director. But Xena is on 2 different eye drops every day for life. One eye drop we get locally. Noelle gets it filled at the hospital she works at. One of them we have to have shipped in from Florida because there's only like 2 places in this country that make it, something like that. But Xena's eye drops, they cost us between $150 and $175 a month total. We calculated, I bought, Riggs was at the vet a few weeks ago. I got 2 Simparica heartworm preventatives for him. They're $45 a piece, right? It was a $90 line item. Think about this. Let's just round it to 50 for sake of discussion. We currently have 9 sanctuary dogs. We do 9 heartworm pills every month at $50. That's $450 a month just in heartworm treatment, right? Preventative. Those little costs add up. Dog food's through the roof. We have Riggs on a high protein, high fat diet because of his weight gain, which I think I digressed earlier. Although he's growing taller, he's also starting to fill out a little bit. He's not all skin and bones. He's still thin under that fur, but he's gaining ground on his girth, which is good. But yeah, it's, these costs, they really add up. When I sat and thought about, $450 a month just on heartworm, that's crazy. It's no wonder people can't always afford to get vetting or have more dogs. It costs me about $800 a year for each dog's vetting. That's including prevention. And it's crazy. But the monthly donors, you guys make a huge difference because we also have, some, Mila, how'd you get that? We also have, we don't have technically what I'm going to call administrative costs. Every single penny goes to the dogs. However, we have to have the web page so we can put information up and put the dogs out. We have to have internet. So there's a lot of hidden expenses. We have a membership to Zoom because we have board members all over the country as far away from us as Texas. And so our board meetings we do over Zoom. Those are all expenses that are hidden, so to speak. So the people that support us, I can't thank you enough. I should probably do a better job of explaining some of these expenses sometimes, but I hate talking about money. We do the best we can. We belong to TechSoup, which is we get accounting software at all these things at very discounted or free prices. We get Canva for free. That's where we do a lot of our graphics because we've proved that we're a nonprofit. We verified it. So there's no fee for that. We take advantage of the software we can. I have Microsoft Office Suite. I pay $36 a year to do our documents. That's it. And it's like $35 a month or something like that for the average person. So we watch our pennies when we can, but there's a lot. When we did the Riggs Heartworm thing, that really was a wake-up call. Wow, $90 for two months. That's crazy. And we have 9 dogs.
So Diane St. James just added a comment that just plain old dogs are expensive, and she's,
Yeah.
very appreciative for what we're doing. Karen Chichi asked about an Amazon or Chewy wish list, and I found the Amazon wish list link and put that in the chat.
And we also have a Chewy wish list. I need to update Chewy's. I haven't updated it since Riggs got here. We need to add, Riggs has to have special treats, and he's on a high-end food, so I'll have to add that to our Chewy wish list. And there's a way you can search on Chewy. I don't have the link in front of me. My stuff is not technically working properly. But I will check and make a post on those. I'll make sure the lists are updated, and then soon we'll do a little post. Hey, updated list on, here's all our wish lists. The biggest thing that we always need, paper towels, unscented laundry detergent or Blue Dawn dishwashing stuff. We have 4 incontinent dogs and a puppy. So we're washing 2 or 3 loads of bed pads every day. And towels also to clean up the mess. So paper towels, laundry soap, Dawn dishwashing soap. Those are always, we need those. We spend a lot of money on paper towels in a year. But we pick up a lot of poop in a year too. So. Okay, folks, we are going on almost 5-2. It's 10-2.
Last call for questions.
Last call for questions. We got about 10 minutes left. It's warm out here. I'm happy to answer a few questions, but I touched on all the topics I can remember I had written down before my notes disappeared. So keep an eye out. We're going to be with Brittany, and we're going to have that tripod plushie. We'll share that. Our largest, most important fundraiser will probably be the end of July. They typically do it around the 28th or so. I'll announce that when I see it. And keep your fingers crossed. I am really, come here, Riggsy. Come here, bud. I am really looking forward to, you can't quite jump yet. I am really looking forward to meeting the 100 women of Crawford County. Watch your feet. You got to watch your wheelchair, buddy. That's going to be quite an honor, and it's going to be a great learning experience for me as well. So we can't share much more about that until after we give our presentation. You got to move, Riggsy, so she doesn't get you, buddy. But we're really looking forward to that, and hopefully we'll have some great feedback for you after the fact.
Karen Chichi asked about a local drop box or place to donate like towels and blankets and stuff, and I just put in the comments that
Raven's
Cloak has that right inside the front door.
Correct.
Very helpful.
And if you need to unexpectedly, anybody, you can also go to HR Wolf Hardware. They don't technically have a donation box, but they work very well with us. If you walk in there and say, I have these towels, can you get them to Rescued Rollers? He will call me and I'll go get them. Or if you're local and you need me to pick something up, give me a call. I just got a call this week from our friend Tara, who's on. She has some fundraising items that she wants to donate. And so we're going to arrange to meet up when the time is right. So, I have no problems meeting up with you. If you have something to donate, I'll be happy to come pick it up.
And there's Raven's Cloak commenting, saying, yes, she does have a drop box. We love them up there.
Brittany, I've talked to Dave Wright this morning in reference to the plushie, and they're going to be getting in touch with you. We're going to try and run it like last year, okay? Thank you for being here.
Trisha from Perfect Imperfections says, I love watching Riggs grow up. And a suggestion for future conversations, how do we handle grooming? Because we've had to get so creative with some of our grooming, bathing.
Make a note of that. That's a good one.
I did, yeah.
Because we did touch on that on an earlier episode when we were in the house, so it was over wintertime. With some of the paralyzed dogs, we actually have. Tara gave me this idea years ago. We got 2 heavy-duty grooming arms that a groomer would use. They're just hooks, right? And we put them on the side of a desk and used a lifting harness to hold the dog up. So the paralyzed dog, was in a standing position. The desk with the grooming arms was holding the dog up. That gave me 2 hands to work with that paralyzed dog. And it was Rex, the German Shepherd, by the way. He was 100 pounds. I could medically clean him up, work on his abrasions or what have you, but it also allowed me to groom him. So, yeah, that's a great topic.
Used the baby pool as a bathtub.
Yep.
We put the wash tub in the back here. I think this is a really good topic.
Yes, we will make a note of that and
cover
some of those options. Who suggested that?
Karen Chichi.
Oh, thank you, Karen.
She's thinking. She must have had all her coffee this morning.
Yeah. If Trisha is still on, I want to know how Keona's doing. She's looking great. The picture you shared a few days ago, she looks great. I've been worried about Keona. Keona has major problems with PRAA, similar to mega esophagus and pneumonia. But I'd like to know how she's doing. If you guys are not following Perfect Imperfections already, please do.
They're linked in the chat.
We've had several dogs come from them, and they've taken dogs from us. We've got a great working relationship. She's helping. Trisha from Perfect Imperfections is helping get us up to speed on mega esophagus, which is new for us. And that's going to translate. It's going to end up helping the public too, because as we're learning what to do with him, I keep a daily journal of what's working, not working, the things we learn, the medications, all this stuff. We're going to put a workbook together that people are going to be able to purchase on Amazon. If they get a dog with mega esophagus and they have no clue what to do, start here. Full of hints and tips and the stuff that we do.
Kiona is doing amazing.
I am so glad to hear that.
So glad to hear that.
Very glad to hear Kiona's doing well. I've been watching her since you got her, and I'm really glad. She's had a tough start, but I'm glad she's doing well. She looks fantastic. She looks like she's going to catch up with Riggs on the growth. Okay, folks, unless there's another question, it's about 11, and it's getting awful warm out here, and Mila's falling out of her wheelchair. Cheryl, if you're still on, I'm glad you got to see your girl. And I want to thank you guys for taking time to join us. Our next, I don't have the date in front of me because my display's dead, but our next Facebook Live is the second Saturday in August.
I think it's the 9th.
Okay, at 10 a.m. So second Saturday every month. It's consistent. I just can't pull the date out of my head at the moment.
So Tricia says we figured out Kiona's food and meds. That's what's made the biggest difference.
I'm curious, Tricia, one last question. I know you now have her standing to eat. I need you to send me a link to her elevated feeder because I like that. But elevated feeder versus the Bailey chair, is that because of the physical location of where Kiona's pouch is in her esophagus? Is it avoiding the pouch by standing up versus sitting up? Is that part of the equation?
Lots of people saying we love Mila. Have a great day. So happy to see everybody.
I appreciate you guys taking the time to be with us.
Question to post the Amazon wishlist link, so I put it in there again.
Yes, thank you.
Because depending on where people are in the call.
Thank you. I appreciate everybody taking the time to be here. I love talking about these dogs. So thank you. And I guess we will see you next month. If you need me, message the page or reach out to me personally. You know how to get me. Okay, guys?
Hold on.
Oh.
We need to clarify 2 questions here about the next second Saturday Coffee with the Chat is in July. Yes, we are having July. We are having
Yes.
August.
You know what? Let me get my calendar. Just 1 second.
Yeah, because I think we misspoke on something. There's some confusion here. Good job, folks, catching that. We don't want to confuse people any more than we have already. So yeah, we'll get the dates for you. We are still looking at the 10 o'clock time frame because that 11 o'clock that we did the other week or last month was an exception.
Sarge says hello, everybody. By the way, I made a mistake. Our next Coffee with the Crew is July. It's not June. I'm sorry, or not August. It's July. Our next Coffee with the Crew is July 11th at 10 a.m.
And then in August, what's that date?
And in August, it will be the 8th, August 8th. So in July, we're looking at the 11th. That's the weekend before our 10th anniversary, which is great.
Okay.
Sorry about that, guys. We are having one in July. We have this every month unless there's an emergency that comes up. So it will be July. And as a general rule, 10 o'clock works better for us than the 11 o'clock that we tried the 1 month where we had an early appointment. We had to get somebody to the airport. So second Saturday of the month, every month at 10 a.m. Eastern. Any last questions sitting there?
Lots of people just saying hello, and Mila's getting recognition, and Riggs is getting recognition.
Yeah, Roxy.
And
maybe you guys can get a peek at Roxy. She only has one back leg.
there she is on camera.
Now you can see her. But it's hard to see her because she's so dark. And so you don't often get a chance to see where her leg is missing. Riggsy. Come here, buddy. Uh-oh. Dogs are going to start howling because I hear a fire truck. On that note, I'm going to say goodbye so y'all don't have to listen to it. Thanks, everybody. We will see you next month, okay? I appreciate you being here. Take care, everybody.